6 o'clock. 6 o'clock, we're calling this meeting to order. We're going to have the invocation and the pledge of allegiance. If anybody would like to join us with prayer, please stand.
Father, we ask that you be here with us today throughout this meeting and always help guide us to do your will in all that we do and all that we say for the betterment of this community, the state, and the nation. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
With that, we'll move on to the minutes of the previous meetings. Courtney, do we need to do these separately? Or can we do them together?
I think y'all were all present for both of those meetings. We didn't put the one from March the 9th back on since we knew there would still be the same issue with the prior meeting.
I missed one. That's the special
Oh,
meeting with
joint.
the county.
Okay, so we need to do them separately?
Yes.
All right, minutes of the previous meeting for the special March 16, 2015.
So move.
Second.
Okay. Roll call.
Commissioner Garcia,
Yes.
Commissioner Cantwell,
Yes.
Commissioner Peña,
Abstain.
Mayor Pro Tem Luber.
Yes. And then we move to the regular meeting, March 23rd, 2015.
So moved.
Second.
There's first and a second. Any other discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Cantwell,
Yes.
Commissioner Peña,
Yes.
Commissioner Garcia,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Luber.
Yes. We'll move to the public hearing. Item number 1 is the public hearing for the adoption of a conceptual development plan for the Totus Estate development located at 1.44 acres, Lot 1 through 9, Block 1, Eva subdivision known as 1100 East Kennedy, and Lots 1 through 3, Block 2, Clyde subdivision known as 1116 East Lot, Isaac and Norma Totus owners. Tom?
As a part of the rezoning process, the planning process to a planned unit development, which is what we're considering tonight, the RP2, a document known as the conceptual development plan is required. And also as a part of that is a public hearing. At this point, I have not had any phone calls or any other kind of communication with citizens for or against the conceptual development plan, but that's the reason why you're having it. It's a part of the ordinance. I can talk about some more now if you want, or talk about the actual agenda item, whichever the case may be.
This is coming
Just
up.
a public hearing.
Yeah. Okay, is there anybody else that would like to speak? And Courtney, I should have started what time we did this, right? Okay,
It's only about a minute. It was like 6:03.
pardon?
6:03.
Thank you, okay. We'll reflect that in the minutes. Is anybody else here that would like to speak about this item? Okay, we'll close this public hearing at 6:04. And we'll move on to item number 2, which is also a public hearing. I need to open it again before I read it. 6:04. Public hearing for an ordinance amending the zoning ordinance by changing the zoning map in reference to 1.4 acres, lots 1 through 9, Block 1, Eva subdivision, known as 1100 East Kennedy, and lots 1 through 3, Block 2, Clyde subdivision, known as 1116 East Lot, from R2 two-family residential district to RP2 Plan two-family residential district, amending the comprehensive plan to account for any deviations from the existing comprehensive plan. Isaac and Norma Totus owners.
Again, as you know, whenever you have a rezoning, a public hearing is required. And again, for this particular one, we have received no comments for or against the rezoning.
Is anybody else here that would like to speak on this? Okay, we will close this public hearing at 6:06, and we will move to reports from commission and staff.
Good evening. My name is Nathan Sweeney. I'm with AGCM. We are the project manager for the new City Hall project at the old historic high school building. I just want to give you a brief update this evening. The project construction is on schedule for a January of 2016 move-in and occupancy by the city. The project is on budget with no changes to date of $4.3 million for phase 2. Currently, construction is, the focus of construction is on the interior build-out of the office spaces, restrooms, and break rooms, things like that, conference rooms. They're framing walls, ductwork, roughing in the electrical and plumbing. The city is working in conjunction with the contractor to install their own utilities, inclusive of water, sanitary sewer, and storm sewer. And they have completed the water line and are continuing with sanitary and storm. And kind of piggybacking on to phase 2 is the upcoming phase 3 of the cottage building, and the design for the cottage building is currently underway. If you have any questions, I'll take those now.
Nathan, how much was the phase 1 as far as money was concerned?
I don't have those numbers with me. I was not involved with the entire portion of phase 1, came in on tail end. I can get that for you.
No, that's fine. But phase 2 is 4.3 million,
Yes, sir.
and we don't know how much phase 3 will be?
No, sir, not at this time.
Anybody else?
Yeah, you mentioned the cottage. When is that going to be ready to be occupied?
I believe at this, it's a very early phase of design, so we haven't nailed down the scope yet and haven't been able to determine the overall project duration. So it's there's a number of variables still in play at this time. We should know that within the next 2 months, I would think.
Okay. You don't anticipate it being before January 2016?
No, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
What's the last time they talked about it? The last time it was in December of this year. So,
Yes, ma'am. Construction is scheduled for completion December of 15, but the city move-in and occupancy January 16th.
anybody else have anything?
I just have a general question now that I'm over here. Have you run into any big surprises or any snags?
There are surprises every day in construction, so yes, sir. No big snags this far, but one can pop up at any minute.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Courtney?
Yes, ma'am. I was just going to remind everybody, our next regular meeting is 2 weeks from today on April the 27th. And so agenda items for that meeting, as well as staff reports, will be due this Friday by 5 p.m. Due to the heavy rains that we sustained last night, the landfill, as you're aware, was temporarily closed this morning until the roads could be made safe enough. But it was reopened this afternoon. Dick Clayburgh Park also had some closure this morning because there were a lot of tree limbs down, and apparently there was a shear of heavy winds that went through the park area, which was more localized to that section of town and mercifully not everywhere. So there's some items there that are going to be working on making secure and getting cleaned up before they reopen certain areas to the public. The golf course is open, and I believe the path trail is available. Lots of branches and limbs there down as well. It'll probably take at least a week or maybe 2 to get rid of all of those, but it's underway. And I know that Charlie Cardenas had advised that they had the street crews out this morning making sure that the alleyways and things like that were clear of any debris that might have fallen into them. as well as the streets. So staff was on it first thing this morning. Also, there's a couple of items coming up for budget amendment, and the finance director, Ms. Bayi, had to attend finance office, Texas finance meeting conference in San Marcos, and so we'll be handling those in her absence. And that's all.
Thank you, Courtney. Taylor?
Courtney,
Yes, sir.
in regard to the damage of the park, you said some of the buildings were damaged?
Yes, sir. There was a couple of the restrooms that had a metal roofing, and it looked like some kind of wind shear had kind of pulled those up and mangled them a bit and knocked down one of the baseball field announcers' booths.
Do we have monies for whatever the damage was?
Well, staff was meeting with the risk manager to do an assessment of the damages to see if that was something that could be either absorbed internally or if it met enough of the deductible to file a claim for.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
I had a phone call from a lady who, and I think I talked to Bill Donnell. She had concern about the trees down in Santa Trudis that were planted. And she quoted to me that there was at least 8 or 10 trees that looked dead. And I don't know, Bill, if that's correct. She may be watching today, so, you know.
I didn't get a chance to go by this, sir, but I will. I'll get you an answer.
All right, I appreciate that, because I think it's 8 or 10. Could have been more that she quoted me, but, you know, just, it's worth checking out.
Okay, we'll have staff look into that. I did go back to morale, and the 12 new oak trees that the
Right.
university recently planted were all looking good.
Good.
No one's on Santa Gertrudis, so I go by there often, and some of them went dead. Some of them are late bloomers. Like last year, we thought 3 or 4 were dead, but they kind of came back. But some of them don't look real happy. So, okay. Does anybody have anything else?
Yes, on the damaged trees, we might have coverage on the windstorm coverage through the association, windstorm association pool, on the removal of debris. We might check into that, might get reimbursed somehow.
Or sell the mosquitoes for firewood?
Our new fence?
Since the trees are on city property, also on the golf course.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. With that, we have a presentation now to the Sexual Assault Awareness and Prevention Month. Hi, come on up. I haven't read this yet, so you're going to bear with me.
Oh.
And your name, would you like to introduce yourself?
I'm Jennifer Radcliffe-Jones with the Women's Shelter of South Texas. I'm the Kingsville advocate, so I'm here in the community.
Thank you. You need to come here. And this proclamation, whereas the effects of sexual assault go far beyond the physical, and because in addition to physical wounds, victims often develop a number of psychological conditions such as post-traumatic stress disorder and depression. And because these effects spread to families, friends, and our communities, spurring fear, anger, and a sense of vulnerability. And whereas few survivors of sexual violence seek help immediately after victimization due to the shame or fear of not being believed, and because in order to end sexual assault, we must alleviate these fears by beginning to believe, and because as members of a caring society, members of communities across the city of Kingsville must unite to remove the stigma of rape. And because as citizens, we must continue the dialogue started by the Women's Shelter of South Texas in their places of work, schools, and homes. And whereas each year, the month of April provides an opportunity for the Women's Shelter of South Texas to renew their commitment to serve their communities. And because for this period, educational efforts intensified, ensuring that the citizens throughout the coastal bend are aware of sexual assault services available to our area. I now therefore, Diane Luber, as Mayor Pro Tem of the City of Kingsville, Texas, do hereby proclaim the month of April 2015 Sexual Assault Awareness and Prevention Month.
Thank you.
want to give us a little history on why this is so important.
Well, it's really important because it affects everybody in our community. Most people know someone or have been experienced. So to provide services and to bring awareness, a big awareness once a month or once a year is great, but we try to do it every day because it does affect our community in many bad ways. So we're here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're now moving to public comment on any agenda items or non-agenda items. Anybody can come and speak. You have 3 minutes to speak. You must come to the podium, state your name and address, and you can talk about whatever you want. Okay then, we'll move to consent agenda items. Do we have one,
Make a motion, we approve
have a motion?
Who for what?
the consent.
The consent, we have just one item,
For the mayor?
the mayor, who's not here.
I want to know that. This is for
We just need to
April
consent
the
that he's
12th?
where he's, give him permission for being where he's.
Only because he has money in his budget, I want to say.
Yes, sir. Is that a second?
Yes.
Okay. Any other discussion? Roll call vote.
Commissioner Garcia.
Yes.
Commissioner Beckles.
Yes.
Commissioner Pena.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Luker.
Yes. With that, we move to our regular agenda. Item number 2 is consider revision to Corral Park improvement projects.
Mayor Pro Tem and Commissioners, recently I came before you all to have a budget approved for the project that we're doing with the university at Corral Park. At that time, we set a budget of $18,000, which included a contribution from the city of Kingsville of $10,000. And we discussed at the time the water fountain that was being placed, one of the elements that was being placed, and the budget that we gave for that item was strictly for a stand-up water fountain alone. We discussed at the time coming back to get quotes for adding a doggy station to it. And so when I was looking at that, I have provided a quote to add the doggy station onto it, but there is also the same type of water fountain that extends an arm for handicap use as well. And so I've given you a couple of options. One would be to add $884.37 to the budget to add on the doggy watering station, and one would be to add $2,000 to the budget to provide the doggy station and the handicap arm to the water fountain as well. So I am here to ask for your consideration for amending the budget to have the City of Kingsville's contribution to $2,000 to provide the handicap access as well.
Gentlemen?
Discussion? Where will this $2,000 come from?
The same place all the money for
From
this
the trees?
particular item is coming from, the 6th Street tree renovation project.
Yes, sir.
Make a motion, we approve.
Second?
We have a motion with Mr. Pena, Commissioner Pena, and a second by Commissioner Pecos. Any other discussion?
The 2,000 is going to include the watering hole for the doggy station too?
It's all three,
It's
correct?
all free.
Okay.
So it'll be a regular, a handicap, and a doggy.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? Roll call vote.
Commissioner Beckles.
Yes.
Commissioner Pena.
Yes.
Commissioner Garcia.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Luker.
Yes.
Just as a quick update on the project, all of the equipment for the project has been ordered. We're waiting on it to come in. The doggy cleanup station has come in. The kids came out to the park by the Friday and put it together, so it's ready to go into the ground. It's just too wet to do that right now. And we will be placing Roundup on the path as soon as things dry up enough to do that as well. So things are advancing along and we're doing well. We just need the weather to clear up.
It may be a while.
Yes, I know.
Okay, we'll move to consider request to Berkshire Foundation for annual financial assistance with the Berkshire Pool and Summer Parks Program. Susan?
Each year, for many, many years, the park system has requested assistance and have really never been denied, just maybe not completely funded, assistance from the Berkshire Foundation, for which the Berkshire Pool is named, for assistance with getting the pool up, for repairs, for improvements, as well as helping to fund our summer recreation programs. We have concentrated this year, since we've been with the city, on a $50,000 budget for capital improvements, and most of that money has gone to the Berkshire Pool. I think our expenditure for the new roof is right at about $37,000. We are draining the pool right now to make sure that there's not any other issues that we need to take care of, so we're assessing that right now. So we have the old shade structures that are there, and we have made a request to the Berkshire, well, we haven't made the request yet, but I'm asking your approval to make a request to the Berkshire Foundation to replace the long shade structure with 2 canvas shade structures that I gave you a quote for, and the amount of $20,610, for some new poolside picnic tables and chairs in the amount of $3,000, and $3,500 for rubberized pool paint in case we need to repaint the pool. We'll have that decision very shortly. In addition to that, they have continually helped support our summer youth swim team and our summer track team. The summer swim team is a program that we took over when the high school, King High, eliminated their pool and the program from their curriculum. The summer track program is a program that we've done through the Parks Department for a long, long time, and it's been through several different entities running the program for us. Riley Cantu and the kids at the university in the track program and athletics, they're the ones that run the program for us. And they do this through donations, they do it through entry fees, and a little bit of money from the park budget and assistance from the Berkshire Foundation. So I'm asking them again this year for $1,500 for each one of those programs, and I am asking your blessing in submitting this request to them.
So moved.
Second.
Well, a motion from Commissioner Garcia and a second from Commissioner Pecos. Do we have any other discussion?
Yes. Susan, on your request, why are you not asking for more money?
For which part? For the pool?
Yeah.
Those are the projects that we're on a short deadline to try to finish projects at the pool by June the 1st.
On that proposal, is it actually turns into a grant, or it's just monies that they allocate automatically?
It's the monies that they consider for appropriation and give us a check for it.
Susan, it's a grant per se, but it's something that they've supported
Yes.
every
Yes.
year.
And it's important for them to see that the entity, being the City of Kingsville, is participating in the improvement as well, and we provided the information to them in this request that shows that the City of Kingsville is sincere about assisting with the upgrade of the facilities, and there's $50,000 that's going into the pool project. So I don't think that there will be a problem with it, but I can't speak for them. One of the things is we're trying to accomplish right now what we can do to the pool by the time it opens this summer. There's certainly more work that needs to be done, for sure, but those things need to be assessed, and there's questions about the future of the pool and how much other work needs to be done. And I think coming back to them with engineering requests and bigger money for fixing the guts of the pool would probably be in next year's, after our budget.
On the track program, do they compete with other areas?
Yes, sir. Both of these programs, the swim team has been a part of the Amateur Athletic Federation in the past, and the track program has been a part of the sanctioned by the Texas Amateur Athletic Federation. So we pay a sanctioning fee for each child that participates.
Right.
And they practice here, they practice at the Berkshire Pool, and they practice out at the University Track, but they go to meets in other cities. And what we have done with this is we have an agreement with the parents that we take them to a certain level. What our program can fund, we take it to a certain level, and if they advance further than that, then that's the responsibility of the parent, because it turns into a lot of travel expense that we can't afford to provide. So
That was going to be my next question, because I remember one of the youngsters at Branson, and I think he was going to run in Florida, and they didn't have the money, so they would help him do a fundraiser to be able to go to that.
right, and we all do fundraisers. We all help with the fundraising if they move forward, and we have had kids in the swim program participate and compete at the state level for many years. Almost every year it's been in existence, and the track program as well.
Is there any way that you probably could squeeze some of those monies into the track program? It's asking, instead of only 1,500, ask for 3,000, and saying that we're probably going to have some champions running out there for us representing Kingsville.
I think that it would be better done once we know if somebody is going to compete at that level. I don't think that requesting for funds for something that we don't know if we're going to need it yet is something that they would consider.
Don't they generally have to have something concrete,
Right.
and that's why you're asking for the T-shirts and things
Normally,
like that?
when kids go to state, the community really rallies, or nationals especially, whether it's softball teams or baseball teams or summer swim team or summer track, the community's really good about coming together and making sure that those kids get where they need to go.
Because usually when I ask for monies, run a grant, whatever, if I need 50,000, I'll probably ask for 80,000. And
I understand that.
and then they'll bring me down to 50. Now, if I would have said 50, they probably would have given me 30.
But the difference, and I've dealt with this, is the difference is you have to justify, when you're asking money from these foundations, you have to justify every
Well, of
penny.
course.
So you can't say, well, we may have somebody that needs to travel, and then they don't just not give you that money. That's why she has to ask for it this way.
I mean,
They're kind of strict that way.
you ask, and the only thing they can say is no.
Yes. I have done this with them for many, many years, and there have been many years where they haven't given as much as I've asked for.
That's what I'm saying, so we need to put more stuff in there.
Well, I did put some, there's some cushion, a little bit, but not too much, because I have to be realistic.
Brookshire has a lot of money.
We have benefited quite a bit from quite a bit of their money over the years.
Commissioner Garcia?
On the participation of the kids, approximately how many kids participate in the field events and then the swimming events, and what are generally their fees?
I think
Just to get an idea.
I think the fees for both activities are around $60 a piece, and for that, they get uniforms and they get assistance, they get coaching every day, they get a lot for their money, but it still takes a lot more money. In the swim team, it's a younger program than the track team, and it's probably got about 30 or so kids that are participating in that. The track team is going to probably break over 100 kids this year.
That's
Yeah.
great.
Some of the baseball teams the select teams that are sending their kids to tournaments all the time are enrolling their kids in the summer track team just to keep them in shape. So they get really good training in the summer track program, and it's growing and growing.
We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Roll call vote?
Commissioner Fenya,
Yes.
Commissioner Garcia,
Yes.
Commissioner Beckles?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Hoover?
Yes. Item 4 is consider proposal for an adult softball league. Susan?
Mayor Pro Tem and Commissioners, historically, the Parks Department has hosted and sponsored the adult softball league that is held at the adult softball complex in DeClaver Park. By saying that, I mean that we collect the fees. Unlike the baseball, the youth leagues, we collect the fees, we pay the bills, we do everything for the league. Historically, our agreement with the county was that we make it as self-sufficient as possible. And so the entry fees have been $325 per team. We solicit each session for a men's division, a women's division, a co-ed division, and a senior division. And we get usually a men's division and a women's division. Every once in a while, we'll have enough teams to make a co-ed division. But I also get input a lot for a senior division. We just never have enough people interested to do that. So we're still putting it out there in case, that changes and there's enough interest, but we're putting it out there. So in order to do this, the funds or any kind of budget in the park budget was not established in the transition to deal with us hosting the league. So I have discussed this with Deborah Bailly, finance manager, and she is working with us to, with your blessing, set a budget for the league and it as we have in the past. The $325 per team provides for a manager of the league, the scorekeepers required, the umpires required, and the awards, and some supplies that it takes. It usually, at the end of the year, there's usually some funds available that we transfer to assist with paying the electric bill for the softball complex. So, I don't know if I can move forward with this. I'm not sure that this is an action item for you tonight. It is? Okay. Then I'm asking for you all to authorize us to establish the budget and begin soliciting teams to operate the league.
And the budget that I'm reading is it the 2240? The difference of the revenues versus expenditures?
She didn't give me the budget that she gave you. I thought this was going to be a discussion item, so I'm not really sure what she presented.
Well, it shows a difference of 2240 of revenues of 4550, less the expenditures of about 2310. And that's for entry fees of $325 with a 10-game schedule.
Yes.
Okay. So you're looking at approximately 2240.
Yes.
How many teams, more or less?
Usually there's about, we've had some trouble getting enough teams in the upper men's division. We're trying really hard to make that work because they're real serious about softball. So there's usually about 6 or 8 teams in each division, being 2 or 3 divisions in men's alone, depending on their history of winning and losing, and then there's a women's division.
And on your senior program, what is the age?
55.
On up.
Yes, sir.
There you go. You bet.
I have a question. Do we subsidize the children's teams?
With assistance in manpower. That's it.
That's it?
Yes.
So they can pay like a little bit more per team to cover their expenditures? The adults?
I would not recommend that. I mean, I could ask them, that's $325 for them to go solicit for a sponsor for 3 or 4 sessions during the year is really high on sponsors. It hits the sponsors really hard. If you all want me to do that, I will certainly reset the fees.
We have to sell a lot of tacos.
Yeah, I was just, because kids pay up there, that was my question.
Well, the kids do the same thing that we're doing here. They pay all the money to the league pays all the bills.
And we subsidize them too.
Well, no, they're paying us for the electricity for the,
Right.
and we're providing mowing and weed eating around the fields. We have asked them to take care of all the other maintenance on the fields.
Okay. So this is an action item.
Mayor Pro Tem, I have a question, please. How did you all handle, or how have you handled the liability issues as far as players getting hurt, playing, and all that?
There's an insurance, that's one of the expenses of the league. There's an athletic insurance that we,
So you have a blanket policy to cover everyone?
yes.
Okay.
Is that okay with you?
Yeah.
Make a motion, we approve as recommended.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Pena and a second by Commissioner Pecos. Any other discussion? Roll call vote.
Commissioner Garcia?
Yes.
Commissioner Beckles?
Yes.
Commissioner Peña?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Leonard?
Yes.
Thank you.
Item number 5 is, this is an introduction. Consider introduction of an ordinance amending the fiscal year 2014-2015 Fund 091 General Fund Capital Projects budget to transfer funds from 6th Street Tree Project to Parks Department for parks improvement. And the next item is consider introduction of an ordinance amending the fiscal year 2014-2015 Fund 051 Utility Fund balance for South Wastewater Treatment Plant repairs. Do we need to do any discussion on any of these, or?
This item, the budget amendment for number 6, is not something that has been brought to the commission before, like the parks item has in the prior agenda item. With regards to this, as you can see from the memo that staff provided, there's been some issues with the blower at the South Wastewater Treatment Plant that I'm sure staff could brief you on.
Yes, this is just the blower at the South Wastewater Treatment Plant. That basically it's a overhaul of the existing blower. That's going to be about $27,000. Replacing the bearings and the rings and things like that. It's still in operation right now, but it's on. No, it's not in operation. What are we using for back? We got the backup blower that's going on, which was an older one.
So that's just regular maintenance or, preventive maintenance?
Yes, it's regular preventive maintenance, but it's like a big preventive maintenance. Again, like imagine an overhaul of your engine.
This is the one that was installed, it says 2006.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so it's an old
Yes,
blower that needs major
maintenance.
maintenance. Okay. Gentlemen, any
And by the way,
questions?
the one on the North Treatment Plant, it's also in your packet. That's going to be proposed for next year's budget.
Any other questions? All right, we'll move to item number 7, which is consider introduction of an ordinance amending the fiscal year 2014-15 Fund 091 General Fund Capital Projects budget to transfer core capital projects back to general fund.
And I know, as I said, Ms. Biden, the finance director, is at the Government Finance Officers Association of Texas conference getting some training, but she did submit a memo for this item, which is attached to the introduction of the budget amendment. And if there's any questions, I'm sure she can address that at the next meeting.
Okay, so we shall move to item number 8, which is consider approval of the conceptual development plan for Tortoise Estates. Tom?
As I stated before in the public hearing, the conceptual development plan is a required document as a part of the RP2 rezoning. And the reason for that is the planned unit district itself has flexibilities, and that's what its purpose is. The purpose is to encourage latitude and flexibility in the location of building structures, and variations and departures are okay. So the document itself puts that in writing as to what's been negotiated. For this particular project, as you know, I think we came in front of you, Mr. Dizdar, maybe a month ago or so. This is the project of 11 homes of 1,100 square feet, approximately, give or take, off of King in between 15th and 16th. We've talked and discussed about things that we want to do. The positives, this is a good infill project. All the utilities are there. Mr. Dizdar will build an 18-foot wide driveway, which runs for 2 cars for each house. He'll plant 2 trees in the front yard of the property of each lot where a home is being built. He'll install a sprinkler system on each lot where a home is going to be built. He'll build a 6-foot sidewalk on the perimeter of the property, so at this point it will look like a C around King, 15th, and 16th. And then he'll have a fence, a side yard fence, right? A side yard fence separating the homes. As a part of this project, because of the project itself, there will be no garages. And that was, to some degree, let's say, the stumbling block. But I personally recommend, it's really a good project with the things that he's adding to. The homes will be affordable for a lot of the community. It takes a current piece of ground that historically, I've been told, had mobile homes on it. And now with this 2 or 3, now or none, 0. You're close to a lot of the commercial retail that you can walk to. And here's another piece of the decision making that I think is important, at least for the city, is there'll be smaller homes, so we'll be getting 11 homes on about 1.5 acres, which is a good return for the city in return of revenue for those number of homes in that ground. So the conceptual development plan obviously puts that in writing. I'm going a little bit beyond some of that, but any questions?
Do y'all have any questions for Tom?
Yeah. In developing the conceptual development plan, you mentioned there is variation in departure.
Mm-hmm.
And what are the variants in departure?
Well, no, they're not defined. They're allowed. So in the ordinance, it just says that variation in departures could be from the R2 district, which in our case, the significant one is the garages.
Okay.
There's no garages with this project. In a basic R2 district, there would be.
That's basically what it is, the garage concept?
Yeah.
For this particular development, yes.
Yeah. So that's the one that stands out the most?
Correct. Correct.
I have 2 questions.
Sure.
My concern here is, and Mark, you may be able to answer this, these are not exactly where the trees are going to be planted, are they? And the reason I say that is you have live oak trees that are going in,
Yes.
Yes.
when you plant them that close to a driveway, within 10, 15 years, they're gonna start pulling up your driveway.
Okay. And I don't know exactly what document you're looking at.
Yeah, you just wanna make, I mean,
Okay. Those are just approximate
okay.
locations.
The other thing is there gonna be enough space in front of the houses to park another car? Because my concern is you have your houses here, and then if you have 2 or 3 houses that are, I mean, cars that are parked at that house, they're gonna park at their neighbor's house, and that makes for unhappy neighbors. Will there be enough room to park maybe a car in front of the house also? I know somebody who would have property.
Are you talking about the curb area?
Yeah, and parking their car at the curb.
Mark Isdar, 1596 Wildwood Trail Court. No, I don't think there will be another room for another car. There will be space for 2 cars parked on concrete, which is either 1 or 2 cars more than everywhere else around the neighborhood that we are conjunct.
So like in front of on the curb in the street, you don't think they could park a car in the
Sure,
street?
they could.
That's
You know,
my
not
question.
on the property,
Right, yeah, to make it clear, to park
Yeah.
another car at the street.
Sure, there's room for 2 or 3 in front of each house. But with the 2-car parking that we're planning, you know, for the contiguous to the southeast, the guy has no driveway, so he just parks in the mud. And most other folks either have 1 or no car parking. So we think 2 cars of concrete parking is a great step forward for the neighborhood.
I grew up in that area, and yes, it is. Everybody that put 2-car driveways in their, in front of their houses.
Sure.
But again, it's, as long as you can maybe park another car.
There'll be
in front, it'd be-
there's space in front of the lot for 2 more cars in front
Okay.
of, this on the street.
Okay. Watch out for those trees, they will dig up your driveway within 10 years. You know how fast that goes now.
Yeah. I'm a great fan of the oak trees, not a great fan of some other trees that are planted around town, but, and I think we plant them usually in the right place, that they'll be there for 30 years, and just get prettier every year.
Excellent,
That's
okay.
our-
That was my only question. And this, do we have any other questions? This is an action
Make a
item.
motion, we approve.
Thank you. We
Second?
have a motion, a second. Any other discussion? Roll call vote?
I think it'll be a great improvement in that
Yes.
area.
Well, and affordable housing. Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Beckles?
Yes.
Commissioner Fania?
Yes.
Commissioner Garcia?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Luber?
Yes. Move to item number 9, which is consider introduction of an ordinance amending the zoning ordinance by changing the zoning map in reference to 1.44 acres, lots 1 through 9, block 1, of a subdivision known as 1100 East Kennedy, and lots 1 through 3, block 2, Clyde subdivision, known as 1116 East Lot, from R2 Family Residential District to RP2 Plan 2 Family Residential District, amending the comprehensive plan to account for any deviations from the existing comprehensive plan. Isaac and Norma Torres, owners. That is an introduction item. Is there any questions? And we'll move to item number 10, which is consider approval of a preliminary plat for the 1.44 acres of addition, lot 1, lots 1 through 9, and Clyde addition, lot 2, lot 1 through 3, on the south side of Kennedy Avenue, between 15th and 16th Streets for residential housing.
So
Tom?
moved.
Second?
Yep, we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Roll call vote?
Commissioner Fania?
Yes.
Commissioner Garcia?
Yes.
Commissioner Beckles?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Luber?
Yes. Item 11, consider approval of a final plat for 1.5 acres of a division, Block 1, Lot 9, 1 through 9, Clyde Addition, Block 2, Lot 1 through 3 on south side of Kennedy Avenue, between 15th and 16th Streets for residential housing.
So moved.
Second?
A motion and a second. Any other discussion? Roll call vote?
Commissioner Garcia?
Yes.
Commissioner Beckles?
Yes.
Commissioner Fania?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Luber?
Yes. 12, consider approval for preliminary plat of 3.783 acres, being all of Lakeview Villas subdivision out of Farm Lot 1, Section 22, KT&I Company subdivision for residential housing.
This development was started probably around 2013. it did come forward to a preliminary plat approval, but due to things that happen in the construction industry, it just kind of hit a wall, I guess, is that fair to say? And, but we do have timetables in our code of ordinances, 6 months, or you can get an extension. We did have some transition upstairs. So nonetheless, Mr. Dizdar wants to, again, continue the development of Lakeview Villas. The preliminary plat and final plat are not any different than previously submitted. We'll tell you that the street is in. But again, these are the garden homes. These are the garden homes in front of Paulson Falls, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So, again, this is another style of home that we think is marketable in our community, and staff recommends approval.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Roll call vote.
Commissioner Beckles?
Yes.
Commissioner Peña?
Yes.
Commissioner Garcia?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Bluebird?
Yes. Consider approval of final plat of 3.783 acres, being all of Lakeview Villas subdivision, Outer Farm, Lot 1, Section 22, KT&I Company subdivision for residential housing. Excuse me. This is an action item.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Roll call vote.
Commissioner Peña?
Yes.
Commissioner Garcia?
Yes.
Commissioner Beckles?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Bluebird?
Yes. Consider a resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement for executive search services with Waters and Company for the city manager position.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Roll call vote.
Commissioner Garcia?
Yes.
Commissioner Beckles?
Yes.
Commissioner Peña?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Bluebird?
Yes. Thank you, David. We saw you coming. You have the next one, so stay still. Consider authorizing payment for half the cost of a new carpet and its installation at the Robert J. Clayburgh Library using funds left over from the HVAC. Replacement upgrades in an amount not to exceed $20,000 contingent on the county funding the other half of the expenses.
Mayor Pro Tem, Commissioners, always a pleasure to be here. We had originally budgeted $75,000 for the replacement of the HVAC system at the library. We had some unforeseen circumstances come up, a hailstorm that damaged some of the existing air conditioning system, so the county was able to file an insurance claim and significantly reduce the amount of money that we did expend to replace the air conditioning system and add a dehumidification system. Because now the library has no books in it, because they're still being stored, it would be an opportune time to replace the carpet. So that's what we're requesting, to use some of that money that was originally budgeted for the library for other improvements there at the library. We have 3 quotes in from Lowe's right now of approximately $37,000, $39,000. I believe the third one was $56,000. So if we stay under the $50,000, then we don't have to do sealed bids, which would extend the timeline probably 30 to 60 days. And the mold remediation people have completed their remediation and would like to move the books back in. So we would like to move as fast as possible. So should the county be able to match 50-50 on there, we would like to go up to $20,000 to replace the carpet.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Roll call vote.
Commissioner Beckles?
Yes.
Commissioner Peña?
Yes.
Commissioner Garcia?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Bluebird?
Yes. And this concludes our business. It is 6:55. We are adjourned.